I don't think Hevesy or Ty Grantham care if anybody apologizes to them or not. They could care less. Here's the thing, buddy.
I do, though.
The offensive line has played really well this year, and I thought they were dominating on Saturday. And, it goes back to people talk about recruiting. Do we need to recruit? Yes, every school can say that, right? When you compare them to Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama and Georgia. Everybody in America, we need to recruit better. We need to recruit like those guys. But I'm going to go back to what I said yesterday on my show and on your show. If people want us to start recruiting better, cut the damn booing out, because there were 5 stars sitting in the south end zone that are thinking about being Florida Gators. But if you're sitting there with your parents and you hear that, what are you thinking as a parent or a kid? Here we are in our own ballpark, and we have fans booing our own team. That is ridiculous. And again, I think recruiting, as I've said all along, those kids that were sitting in the south end zone saw a structure being built that's about a year and a half away that we have not had, that everybody else in America has had. And that will help recruiting.
Yeah, and you say that also the facilities and all that sort of stuff. I think, you are what you are when you are. This is a team that's trending upward. And we'll see where Alabama's going to lose a game along the way somewhere. I heard Shane Beamer go off at one of the questions.
Oh, that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he said, asked about Georgia's ability to do this. And he said, they got 105 stars over there. What do you expect? I mean, they were just better. Here's the one thought I did have. And I noticed this from the announcers of the game, TV, whatever. The first quarter, what was most disconcerting was Alabama appeared to be a better overall team with better players, because Florida kept missing tackles, which was crucial. They couldn't make the plays. Alabama's running backs and wide receivers were a step faster than Florida. They got to the edge in a hurry. They caused trouble. That was the thing. You say, okay, what caused that? Well, in some situations, they were just better. Another situation, I just see the Gators, they were there. They were manned up in the right place, but they couldn't make the tackles. They couldn't close. They couldn't get to the corner. So that was but something happened there. I don't know what. Grantham changed something. And
we played a lot more zone.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because, I did my show yesterday. I did shows with Steve Russell yesterday, and people were griping, as you just mentioned, about the tackling. But you got to flip the script here. Alabama had trouble tackling our guys in space. The tackling thing to me is overblown, buddy, because if you're one-on-one in space, the advantage goes to the offensive player because he knows what he's going to do. The defensive guy has to react. So it's easy to sit here for us to say we got to tackle better. Well, hell, they couldn't tackle us, and Dan Mullen said it in his press conference yesterday. He said they had trouble tackling us. It's hard to do. But I hear where people are coming from there. We got a Facebook Live here from Chris, brought to you by Metal Law. He says, the gripe with Hevesy is his recruiting ability, not his coaching. Okay.
Oh, come on. I'm tired.
Hang on. Let me tell you my thoughts on that. Not just it doesn't matter what school we're talking about here. Buddy, the National Football League, the Jacksonville Jaguars, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they had the most money to spend in the all season.
They did.
On free agency. Okay. Buddy Martin, you're a 10-time Pro Bowler, linebacker, or whatever. The Jaguars offer you a contract for $100 million over X amount of years in the offseason. Okay. Well, guess what? The Kansas City Chiefs are going to pay you $75 million to go play for them. Okay. That's a $25 million difference. That's a lot of money. Where is Buddy Martin going to go play? You're going to go play where you got a chance to win a championship immediately, right? You don't want to go to some.
Yeah, but
here's
let me answer your question. I want to say that where it is makes a difference to me. I've been to Kansas City in the winter.
Okay, well let's don't use Kansas City. Let's use the LA Rams then. I'm saying a team that has a chance to win it all. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to recruiting, it's the same way. I don't care if Steve Spurrier, whoever, walks into a kid's living room and does whatever they have to do to recruit offensive line, quarterback, whatever position, it's still that 17, 18-year-old kid's decision and his parents' decision where he's going to go. Remember, you can only sign 25 of those kids each year. And that number is going down because they're going to save about 5 spots for the portal. So my point is, I don't know what people think makes you a great recruiter. I think what makes you a great recruiter is winning football games and having a chance to win a damn national championship. And that's why Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama are the top recruiting teams in America. I don't know why Georgia is, quite honestly, but the other 3 have won it. So I don't know if I make any sense here. I just know that you cannot – I mean, the only thing you can do is go in there and say, hey, here's $100,000 or $500,000. Here's some cars. Come play for us. I mean, I don't know what people expect.
Okay. Well, you got your beef for the people who boo, right? I got my beef for the people who always see it's recruiting. I get that it's important. You know, it's the lifeblood. But you got to be able to perform. And what I'm talking about was Florida performed. No, they didn't win the game. The swamp is back. The program looks like it's trending upward. And blue skies and green lights are ahead. And I'm sick and tired of hearing about recruiting. I know it's important to people. And they used to love, obviously, National Signing Day, which they don't have anymore. So, no, you're right. Hey, how did the transfer portal treat Florida in the defensive line this year?
Oh, thank God.
Pretty well, I think, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Chris says, Facebook Live, we lost a recruit to UCF on the O-line that didn't speak well of Hevesy. I don't doubt his coaching ability, just the way he relates to his kids.
Who cares? You're going to lose.
Well, here's the thing. If the kid went to UCF, he wasn't good enough to play.
Obviously, he didn't want to compete here.
Right. But not every player is going to like their coach. I can't tell you how many people talk about their coaches. I mean, you don't have a great – I don't know. I don't know how to explain it on air here, but you're not going to make everybody happy. But, again, if we lost a kid to go play at UCF, he wasn't good enough to play here. It's that simple. He'd be playing somewhere else, in my opinion.
These are the people that you say you don't like who boo. I don't like these kind of people who are constantly complaining and ripping on coaches and players because of the recruiting. I'm tired of it. I'm not going to deal with it anymore.
Yeah. Dan says, those free agents on the defensive line stepped up. Yeah, our farm system there in Auburn, Alabama came through for us this year.
They played against Alabama, too, by the way. They know what Alabama was like, so they had a little game experience.
Yes, they did. Let's see, what else did you have here, buddy? I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, okay. Go ahead.
So obviously, no moral victories. Whatever. I thought we showed a lot of guts, a lot of character coming back from 21-3. We could have folded our tents and people could have left at halftime, but we made it a game. I thought we outcoached them, outplayed them the last 3 quarters. It wasn't even close. They got out of here with a fortunate win
by the skin of their teeth.
yeah, exactly. Okay,
can I just say one thing about the rivalry aspect of this game? And I've thought about this a lot and talked with John Talty about it, who last week said Alabama fans were pretty much bored with playing Florida. Gator fans look at it as a rivalry, but here's the problem. When you lose, is it 8 in a row? I forget, to a team, you can't really have a rivalry. Like Kentucky can't have a rivalry with Florida because they beat them like a drum. You got to even that up. Now, if they beat Alabama this year in the championship game, it changes. But the fact is that the rivalry can't take place unless you beat the other guy. And Alabama forgot about this. They forgot about how hard it was to win and compete in the swamp. And you've seen teams melt down in the swamp before. And I noticed that people who hadn't been here in September before, Feinbaum was there. He said, man, it was hot down there. One of the writers quoted a player saying he never heard it so loud his eardrums hurt. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you build on. And Alabama fans didn't get it. Because why? They hadn't played the swamp in a long time. They don't know what it's about. You're talking about a whole generation of fans who didn't get it. Didn't know about Shane Matthews. Didn't know about how Shane Matthews competed against it. So anyway, I think that's all I want to say is that, as I said, the Gators are coming. They're coming. They're trending upward.
Speaking of rivalries, this Tennessee game ain't been a rivalry in a long time. But
no, it hasn't. And
what
at
do we
one
want?
point,
Is it 15 out of the last 16?
I'd
What
have
is
to
it?
look it up, but it's something like that. And I say that, it was at one time. I know Gator fans aren't going to believe me when I say this, the young ones. It was one of the top 2 or 3 rivalries in the country. It was, and it was the third Saturday every year. It was unbelievable games, and you played in a few. Back in those early years of winning the SEC, it was amazing how they just couldn't beat the Gators, and so consequently, like you say, it got to where it wasn't a rivalry because that Tennessee can't win.
Yeah, in the 90s, it was, this was the game, the Tennessee-Florida game in the 90s. It was so early. It was the third week of the season every year, and whoever won that game usually won the SEC championship. So it'll be fun having the folks from Rocky Top. I know people don't like to hear Rocky Top, but it's cool to hear it, even if it's in your own stadium, just because it's college football. It's part of the atmosphere. Chris says, Buddy thinks recruiting doesn't matter that much.
No, I didn't say that.
That is what we are lacking.
Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that. Did I ever say that? No. Recruiting matters a lot, but it isn't the only thing.
The only thing I just don't understand why people think we don't recruit well. I understand we don't have a whole lot of 5-stars. A lot of our 5-stars are not played like 5-stars, by the way.
And because they weren't 5-stars. They weren't 5-stars. It's a flawed system.
Yeah.
Who's going to say who gets how many stars? That's what Mullen says. My evaluation of some of those players is different. He has them as 3 stars or whatever. So this whole star system has got people screwed up. Oh, they got a guy that, how great he is. He's a 5-star. And you never see him again.
We have 2 5-star running backs that didn't even touch the field.
Didn't get in the game.
Yeah. So, you can't keep everybody happy, and it all comes down to how you practice, how you play. So we'll see. We'll see if Lingard and Bowman get some touches this week. I don't know if they will or not. We shall see. All right, buddy, back to Tennessee. I don't know how much you watched Tennessee, but I think Josh Heupel's going to do a good job up there.
I do too. I agree.
He's made a quarterback change due to injury. Kid that used to play at Virginia Tech is now his quarterback. He can cause some problems. He's a dual threat guy. Their offense is what, if you've been sleeping under a rock for these people, it's what UCF ran under Heupel. It's what you see Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss running. It's that up tempo, go 100 miles an hour. It's going to give us some problems. They're going to move the football. This is the time you got to be that bend but don't break type defense because they're going to gain some yards. How you see this game playing out Saturday night?
I think there'll be moments of struggle. I think Gator fans are going to expect to come in and blow them out. It's not going to happen. I think the game was where his own Florida's talent. I think if Anthony Richards gets in the game, he's a game changer. I want to see how the defense plays. If it comes back and plays, the kind of sound football it played the last 3 quarters, I think Florida wins the game by 3 touchdowns. All right. But I don't think it's going to be a laydown, and it might even be close at halftime. And listen, Heupel knows the passing game now. Don't forget that. He knows that passing game. So let's see how good the quarterback is, how good the Tennessee's defense is. And once again, the star of the show last week was the crowd. If the swamp fills up again and people get all bent out of shape and roaring and don't boo, this could be a game that could wind up being 48-21, Florida. But right now, as I see it, that's because sometimes coming off a game like this, you've always got that thing that we're stuck in your car. You left it on the field. You didn't get it. Is Florida going to be deflated? Or are they going to play inspired football? I don't know. I think we learned what Florida can do is they can run the football, and I expect to see more of that. And I do think we'll see those 5-star running backs this week.
Do you?
Yeah.
What makes you think they're going to get?
Because Tennessee hasn't seen them, doesn't know anything about them, and Mullen's going to find a way to get him in the game, and at least maybe Lingard. We'll see. And I think Anthony Richardson. We're not going to see him running too much because of his hamstring.
Well, the only problem with that, and I'm anxious to see if they want to play him this week or not. They may not call any runs, buddy, but a lot of the runs that you have seen from him weren't called runs.
Right. No, I realize.
He just takes off running because he's not reading the defense correct. That's, Coach Mullen talked about that in his press conference a couple of weeks ago. And he said yesterday those hamstrings, if you tweak it again or pull it again, you could be out for the year. So,
hey, listen, I know. Oh.
He's had some hamstring issues in his career in high school, and they're going to do everything they can and not rush him back. So I mean, I would guess he will play a little bit in this game, but we'll wait and see. I thought Emory played absolutely awesome.
He did.
He threw an interception, but the interception, people say, was it his? It really wasn't his fault. He made a really good read, as Dan Mullen said in the press conference yesterday, but he got hit. Anytime you got a guy coming full speed
in your chest,
it's going to put their helmet right here,
in
your mouth. It just caused the ball to flutter a little bit. But I thought he was outstanding, and I thought he played looser because he knew it was his game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've played where a quarterback came in the third series. This was in the pros, and it screwed up, the line, the rhythm, everything. So we'll see. I think they'll just see how the game goes, but it wouldn't surprise me if they hold him out again. I could be wrong.
He'll get snaps in one series. He won't run the ball because they don't want to.
But that's the thing, buddy. You don't know if he's going to run. Just your natural instinct.
Well, you got to tell him you can't run the ball, hand it off, or throw it. You can't run it. We don't want you to hurt your hamstring. And
but think about this, buddy. He's played his whole life.
Yeah.
And they call a pass play where they want to keep him in the pocket, which they haven't really called any plays for him in the pocket.
Yeah.
They say, okay, do not run. Well, in the heat of the moment, you ain't thinking about that. Yeah. You're gonna react to what's happening, and then he takes off running because the protection breaks down. Who knows what can happen? So,
well, you really can't control that at 100%, but you can control it 98%. And here's the other thing: you got to make sure he's going to be ready by the end of the season. Look, we're 3 games into the season already. Time is ticking. He's got to get out more.
We got 9 more plus.
I know.
More.
I know that, but still, every game that goes by is a lost opportunity for him to develop. And so, by the way, I saw enough to see. I don't think that Emory Jones will give up his starting job the rest of the season.
No, Emory's going to be the starter. But my point is, I understand Anthony needs to play, but if he plays and tweaks it, he's probably done for the year.
Yeah, I understand. But at some point, you have to make that decision. When's it going to be? When's it going to be? Is it going to be this week, next week, whatever? So
from a medical standpoint, having hamstring issues before, and I've pulled my hamstring, I would sit him out this week.
Really?
Yes, because those things, I'm telling you, ask any receiver, anybody that's pulled a hamstring, and those things, they kind of lie to you. You feel pretty good, but then when you burst,
you feel it.
Done.
And as the Tampa Bay Rays, man, they lost Wander Franco with one of those. Now he'll be back next week. Big win last night for the Rays. This rookie pitcher came in, Boss, and blew them away. And they won it big against the Jays, who were just absolute beasts at the bat. And they won that game. And now the magic number is 3. They're going to be back in the World Series, Shane.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm reading some of these Facebook Lives brought to you by Valhalla. Scott says Trace Sanders blew his knee out. I think he blew his knee out again. That was the 5-star running back from Alabama. He got hurt again in this game. I missed that.
I think I read that someplace. I don't know. It's not sure which Scott you're talking about.
But I want to ask you before we let you go. I'm not a huge NFL guy, but I'll turn the Monday night game on just to watch it. But I refuse to watch the regular telecast now. Have you watched any with Peyton and Eli?
Watched it last night. Yeah, I watch it off and on. But,
it is so good.
Yeah.
And you can learn a lot of football. I think, people talk about having a football class and learning football. Just watch that between Peyton and Eli. You'll learn a lot about what quarterbacks are thinking, what play callers are thinking, different situations. If you heard Peyton last night talk about, we need to just keep checking it down. Well, fans don't understand throwing the check down is a good play. But listening to them, you can learn a lot of football. I just think it is outstanding.
They have a lot to offer on Aaron Rodgers, which I thought with insights on Rodgers was good. And of course, Peyton obviously likes it. It was fun. Yeah, I'll flick over. I don't watch too much NFL on Sunday. I watch the day games, the Bucks and the Jags, and I'll flip over on Monday.
But you can't really watch because your show is on at 9:00.
But I can tape it. and I do tape shows, and I flip it back and forth like I'm not on the weekends. But no, I watched maybe 20 minutes of it last night, some of it after the show. So,
yeah, it was great. So, all right, so who you got on? You got Urban on this week?
Urban is not on this week; he's on next week. And the show we got Ross Stellinger, a terrific writer. We have David Whitley from the Gainesville Sun. We'll probably have G. Allen Taylor who writes some terrific stuff from the Athletic. We got a good lineup this week, but tonight we're going to have a new lineup for double coverage. The double trouble now is going to be Cass is going to change. Cassidy is going to have as her regular Graham Hall. Cassidy and Graham tonight are going to be on. Okay. So instead of being on Monday nights with me, I'm moving him up to Tuesday nights with Cassidy, and it'll be good because their beat reporters are good. They got good rapport. So looking forward. And if I might just add one note, we're going to make this announcement. I can't tell you who it is yet because I want to be 100% sure. We've got one of the stars on offense of the Florida Gators on our Best Fridays in Football, starting hopefully this week. And it's not Trent Whittemore, by the way.
That's good stuff. Hey, buddy, we got a text on the Tiger Mark text line for you. It comes from Joseph. Joseph wants to know, buddy, what's the best Florida-Tennessee game that you ever covered?
Oh, well, we talked about this with Coach Spurrier last week. I've seen so many of them. That controversial call on on the catch in Knoxville.
Oh, wasn't it Jabbar Gaffney?
That was a catch.
I think Jesse Palmer threw the hitch to him for a touchdown.
Right. And that was an interesting game. Obviously, some of those big blowouts if you're a Gator fan. It was just so tightly contested. I loved watching Peyton. Thought that was great. Obviously, I don't know if I have one favorite, but I just love this series. I wrote one time when I was back in the day that it was the number one rivalry in college football. And I thought the Georgia fan on my staff was going to come after me and say, you can't say that. What do you mean? Yes, I can, because it is. I just love the rivalry. And that's what is so great. As you said, third game of the season, the winners got the inside track on winning the SEC, and they played for everyone. Fulmer had some good teams too. So I don't know if I have a favorite. I have a lot of favorites. When I talked to Bob Stoops for my book, I was talking about what it was like for him coming here the first year when he went to practice and Spurrier ran up and down the field on him. I said, welcome to the Gators. And he said, when he went to Knoxville, he said, what an atmosphere. He said, and Bob Stoops said, I'll never forget Riedel Anthony catching a touchdown pass, going up and jumping in the stands and kissing a girl. He said, what an environment it was. So, yeah, there was the pageantry, the competition, all of it. I don't have one favorite.
I was going to ask you, I don't know what made this pop into my head, but Condridge Holloway, wasn't he the first ever black quarterback in the Southeastern Conference?
I think he was.
So were you covering the SEC at that time?
Not regularly, but I was coming. I had 7 years, so I covered half a season. I lived in Denver, and I didn't see him a lot, but I watched it on TV. Yeah,
pretty good. I know the SEC Network did a deal on him, and I don't know why that popped into my head.
I can't remember the history of that. Exactly when it happened and whatever. But yeah, he was definitely a part of that, and and did well. I'm glad they're remembering people like this. We need to go back and treasure some of our real players. Florida's doing a better job of that. They had Willie Jackson and Leonard George on, which is good. There's certain players to be acknowledged. You're one of them, Shane. One of these days, listen, you can say what you want to, but you put this team where it is now on your back. And you came in there and you did. And you guys, you set the tone. It changed the whole tenor of Florida football, for the bunch of losers. And I saw them all, by the way, to a team that went on the field expecting to win and throw the ball down the field and make it the plays. And you and your squad made it happen, Shane. You're a pioneer in that. You'll always be, and you deserve a special commemoration for that.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. Before I let you go, I don't know if you know I'm sure you know the answer to this or don't know the answer to this, but you could tell us where to go for the answer is what I meant. John asked on Facebook Live, he would be interested to see the numbers, talking about the ratings between the regular ESPN broadcast and the Manning's broadcast. They probably have numbers on that, right?
Yeah, they do. And I don't know what it is, but you can Google it and probably find it. I used to go look at TV numbers, but I can't tell you. And they'll probably make an announcement of some sort. The network site, you can go on there and look at their information. I don't know. They don't want to make a big deal out of it because they want their main show to be their main show. But I don't know the answer to that, but it's out there.
Yeah. And then Chris asked, buddy, I want you to answer this. Chris asked, how many stars were you, Shane, coming out of high school?
One.
Probably. I was a smooth 6'2.5", 165 pounds when I signed my scholarship.
I want to tell that story.
I wouldn't even be recruited today.
Well, I want to retell it in 30 seconds. Shane was a good high school player, could play for his dad. He thought he could run Steve Spurrier's offense when he didn't even know Steve Spurrier. And he came here, and then when Spurrier came in the first spring game or one of the practices, his dad came down, and Shane never got on the field. And Steve felt so bad about it. But the legendary deal is people talk about Kyle Trask, talk about a guy, next man up guy. Steve Spurrier told us before that first 1990 season, we said, I was in the press conference. Who's going to be your starting quarterback? He said, I don't know, but whoever it is will lead the SEC in passing. They took a fifth string, maybe a sixth string.
It depended on which day of the week it was.
Which day of the week it was, and John Reeves was helping him out, whatever, and put him in on the field and to run the team, and the rest is history. That's what you call coaching right there, knowing talent.
That's right. All right, buddy. Good stuff as always. You can hear Buddy every Monday through Friday on Facebook Live, and then check out how they check out the best Fridays in football, just on all the different podcast things.
It's on noon Fridays live, but then it's up there all day. It'll always be if you go to the Buddy Martin show on Facebook, it'll be there. If you miss it, it'll still be there, and I'll try to see that it gets replayed on Friday night. So
and before we let you go, anything Gator Bait you want to mention?
Other than the fact if you're not reading it, you're missing out. We have added a couple of staff people, and I want to say we got a couple of people coming you're going to be really impressed with. And for really good insight and depth, if you want to go to GatorBaitMedia.com and check it out, sample it, buy it for a month, look at it, and see what you think. I think is as good a coverage as there is. I think it's the best coverage of Florida football anywhere. And I hope you folks ask Dan Bond. He'll tell you.
Good stuff, buddy. Appreciate it, my man. Be safe.
We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for having me on.
That's Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. Join us on the Untitled Chapter hotline. Going to take our first time out. Come back. We'll be joined by Trent Whittemore, number 14 for your Florida Gators.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They are getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Center State Bank is now South State Bank. We still put business first. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State still has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. We're now going to go to the Whittemore hotline. We're going to be joined by Florida Gator wide receiver Trent Whittemore. Good morning, Trent. How are you, bud?
Good morning, Coach. I'm doing well. How about you?
Yeah, it was a heck of a game Saturday night in the Swamp, Trent. I think after the first quarter, we kind of settled in and we played extremely well. I thought we outcoached them and outplayed them the last 3 quarters. Just talk a little bit about what you guys did as a team, being down 21-3. Did y'all have like a little team meeting? Coach Mullen say anything, or just y'all just started playing the way we're capable of playing?
I think we just stuck to the game plan and started playing, the way we're capable of playing. We got in a rhythm offensively, started running the ball really well. Emory started to get into a rhythm, and we started to get stops defensively. And like you said, we really controlled the game those last 3 quarters. Wish we could have started off that way, but we were definitely playing really good football those last 3 quarters.
Yeah, when you talk about the game plan, I thought Coach Mullen and the offensive staff had a really good plan. As you mentioned, the first quarter didn't go so well, but you stuck to it. And I wanted to ask you, and you don't have to get into specifics, but I try to kind of coach up people on football on my show. It seemed like a lot of times when you were lined up in the slot, you would motion. Let everybody know why that Coach Mullen called that motion. Was it for Emory to be able to diagnose what the defense was doing, whether it was man or zone, or what was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, it was to diagnose the defense a little bit, both for the receivers and for Emory to see, if the nickel followed or if they bumped over and stayed in a one high look. It was definitely giving us really good insight on what they were doing pre-snap.
Yeah, Trent I think he had 3 catches for 21 yards, a lot of them across the middle there. Were most of those, I think Emory completed a lot. I don't know if they were slant, sight adjust. It looked like when they bring somebody off the slot, we kept hitting the little inside slant. Was that a sight adjustment?
Yeah, it was. Me and Emory had just talked about whenever they bring that pressure off the edge like that, just taking those quick, easy yards, and we were able to do that a couple of times.
We got a couple of texts here on the Whittemore text line for you, Trent. Larry says here, Trent, how much different was it playing against the Bama defensive backs compared to the FAU and South Florida DBs?
You can definitely notice the difference in talent, the difference in physicality. They're all really good players, but so are we. So I think we stepped up and played really well. But, yeah, they were definitely really talented guys, and hopefully we see them again in Atlanta.
Yeah, I want to get back to, y'all's preparation, watching Alabama on tape. When obviously y'all probably watched last year's game, but did y'all take a lot of – the offenses are totally different now. But did y'all take much of the plan that Coach Mullen had last year into this game against Alabama?
We did take some of it. And Coach Mullen has played Alabama a ton, being in the West before he was at UF. So we were watching games from years past, from last year, a whole bunch of different stuff, and kind of combined all of that to make ourselves a good little plan.
And going into the game, obviously he thought we could run the football. I think a lot of people around the country were surprised at how we kind of pushed around Alabama. The rushing yards compared to what they did, it was unbelievable. I thought the offensive line had played extremely well. Did y'all really think we could run the football on Alabama going into this game?
I think we did have that belief, yeah. We ran the ball so well the 2 games before that, and we didn't see why we couldn't do it yesterday either. We were able to do it. I think the offensive line, like you said, played great. They've been playing great since game 1, and Emory, his ability to use his legs helps a lot too, and we're +1 in the run game almost at all times. So we were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, Sheila's got a text here on the Titan Tomorrow text line. She says, Trent, do you have a preference in which quarterback plays?
No, I don't. Just whoever's giving us the best chance to win and throwing good balls, I don't mind who's back there.
Yeah, I thought Emory played his tail off. The one interception, he got hit like right in the face as he let it go. But I thought for the most part he played extremely well, made a lot of plays, crucial plays. I don't know the last time an offense had 3 drives against an Alabama defense for I think it was a 10-play, an 11-play, and an 11-play drive, all for touchdowns. So the offense moved very, very well. We're speaking with Trent Whittemore here on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. Again, we always take Trent. If you ever have any questions for Trent, make sure you reach out to us, and we will make sure we get them to you. You can follow Trent on Twitter at Trent, TRENTT _Whit, WHITT. A few more minutes here with him. I wanted to ask you, the question I want to ask you was on the 2-point play. I know everybody's talked about that, but I try to tell people, look, of course, should we have called something else? Whatever. I mean, you can always second guess, but I try to tell people coaches break down those 2-point plays. They look at the goal line defense weeks in advance in their preparation of how Alabama will line up. And I'm not sure if we busted an assignment somewhere. It just looked like a odd play to me. What were your thoughts on the 2-point play?
Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20, as you were saying. But we were running a play that was really successful throughout the game, actually, and it just didn't happen to be successful on the time where we needed it most. But like I said, it was a play that worked really well all throughout the game. We were really pushing them around on it, and just didn't go our way right there on the 2-point conversion.
Trent, what was that atmosphere like down there? I mean, a lot of people, even Alabama friends of mine, you've seen it all over Twitter and on social media, people have said that that's the loudest they've ever heard the Swamp. What was it like playing in front of that crowd?
Yeah, it was electric. Probably the loudest. Definitely the loudest game I've been a part of. The Auburn game here 2 years ago was loud as well, but I think we topped it yesterday. It was crazy in there, and I think especially when the defense is on the field, causing penalties, the crowd is delay games or false starts. That's just huge, and the crowd definitely gave us energy and played a big part in the game yesterday.
You go into the half. I think it was 21-9. What was Coach Mullen's message to you guys at halftime?
He was just really talking about sticking to the game plan. I mean, we had shot ourselves in the foot on a couple drives. We were starting to really establish the run game. Emory was starting to get into a rhythm. So we were just, we knew we were getting the ball. We were all just saying, we're going to put a big drive together, go down and score, and then it's our game after that. And that's what we were able to do. So, it was really just stick to the game plan, keep doing what we're doing, keep pounding. And like I said, we came out and established ourselves early in the second half.
We got another text here on the Titan Tomorrow text line from Bob. Bob says, so Trent, when the Swamp starts singing "We Won't Back Down," do you sing along?
I usually get with some of my buddies on the sideline and we sing "We Are the Boys," and then we sing that as well. So it's always a good time. I know during that time period, there's a lot going on. It used to only just be "We Are the Boys," but now they got both going. And whether you're on offense and you have to be in the offensive huddle and Coach Mullen's talking about plays, I still think it would be a huge distraction with them singing "We Won't Back Down" because you just naturally have to sing along. So last thing for you, Trent, we got Tennessee coming to the Swamp on Saturday night. Should be it's a big game. Obviously, we have one loss now, but we still control our own destiny. What was Coach Mullen's message to the team after the game? I know it was a very disappointing loss, but, we've played Alabama closer than anybody else in the SEC, but we have to take care of business, and it starts with Tennessee. Yeah, his message was obviously that he was disappointed. We were all disappointed, no moral victories. But at the same time, we do control our own destiny. We showed that we can play really good football, and we got to continue that, not just in the games versus the number one team in the country, but, week in and week out. And that's what we're going to look to do and make a push to the win.
Yeah. Well, Trent, we appreciate you joining us, my man. Good luck against the Volunteers. Should be another electric atmosphere there in the swamp. And hey, real quick, did we come out of the game? Anybody get banged up?
I think a couple bumps and bruises, but I think for the most part we're all good.
All right, well, good stuff, my man. Well, have a good one Saturday night. We'll talk to you next week, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Trent Whittemore. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. We come back, we'll wrap up this Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. I want to thank our man, Buddy Martin, for joining the program. Also, Trent Whittemore. Remember, if you want to send Trent, you ask him any questions, shoot them to us Saturday or Sunday. We got a text from Frank here on the Titan MR text line. He says 7.6 million people watched on ESPN, 6.9 watched on ABC, and only 800,000 people watched Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. I think that number will go up the more people hear about it. It's clearly better than the regular telecast, in my opinion. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, folks. Today's show is a wrap brought to you by Wrap Spot. Take care.